Kenjaku is one of the primary antagonists of the Jujutsu Kaisen series. He is an ancient curse user who has existed for over 1,000 years using his innate technique, which allows him to transplant his brain into other people to control them. He has inhabited different individuals throughout the centuries and assumed their identities. Among those he has possessed include the Blight of the Kamo clan, who created the Cursed Womb, Death Paintings, Noritoshi Kamo, the mother of Yuji Itadori, Kaori Itadori, and Suguru Geto, whose corpse Kenjaku is currently possessing to exploit his cursed spirit manipulation. Kenjaku is an ancient sorcerer who has accumulated a wealth of jujutsu-related knowledge and experience over the course of 1,000 years. His advanced understanding of jujutsu sorcery is second to none, with numerous feats that display his talent. As Noritoshi Kamo, Kenjaku invented the Cursed Womb, Death Paintings, and became known as the evilest curse user in history. He is the only person who knows how to turn a sorcerer into a cursed object after death, something not even Sukuna knew how to do during the Heian era. He is also the second most powerful barrier user after Tengen, recognized as one of few sorcerers who can match them in barrier techniques. Kenjaku possesses the bodies of other sorcerers and utilizes their techniques in addition to his own natural skill set. He uses cursed spirit manipulation with the same degree of skill as his current host, Suguru Geto. He took Suguru's body specifically for this technique and has a masterful understanding of how it works and how best to use it for his ambitions. He forced Mei, a grade 1 sorcerer who is familiar with Geto's technique, to retreat. Kenjaku not only expertly applies the technique to battle, but used its applications to set up his schemes as well. For example, he absorbed Mahito with cursed spirit manipulation, and then used Mahito's idol transfiguration to set up the culling game. He also used the technique to absorb Tengen, who had evolved into a more cursed spirit than human, continuing to further his own ends. Kenjaku's talent extends well beyond jujutsu sorcery. He is an excellent unarmed combatant, is highly intelligent, and is an unrivaled mastermind when it comes to underhanded schemes. Kenjaku was the orchestrator of both the Shibuya Incident and the Culling Game, two of the largest jujutsu terrorist events in modern history. Not only were they both effectively set up and executed, but went nearly perfectly to plan. The Shibuya Incident successfully sealed Satoru Gojo, the strongest sorcerer of the modern age. Kenjaku and Uraume effortlessly held off a group of sorcerers who attempted to reclaim Satoru at the end of the incident. Yuji Itadori was completely outclassed against Kenjaku, and even Choso was unable to deal any significant damage. Not only did Kenjaku escape unscathed with Prison Realm, but successfully began preparations for the Culling Game as well. The combination of Kenjaku's ambition, manipulative tactics, and overall talent in jujutsu allowed him to establish a convoluted competition like the Culling Game. He used a complex blend of several sorcery techniques to create the Culling Game. So complex, in fact, that Tengen had to hold an in-depth conversation with their allies to explain exactly how the Culling Game operates. Kenjaku invited 1,000 players over the course of millennia, set up numerous colonies using Tengen's pure barriers as a foundation, and established the rules of the game using a series of intricate binding vows. Some of the vows Kenjaku took upon himself include not being a game master and to end what was permanent. Kenjaku's plan was so well thought out that his enemies, the Jujutsu High Sorcerers, had no choice but to participate. Kenjaku displayed the full range of his abilities when he bested Yuki Tsukumo, a special grade sorcerer, Choso, a special grade death painting womb, and Tengen, all by himself. His barrier prowess enabled him to invade the tombs of the star without trouble, something Tengen had no doubts he'd be able to accomplish. One-on-one, Kenjaku had Choso completely overmatched, and his opponent was unable to land a single hit. Initially, Kenjaku easily overpowered Choso using only low-level cursed spirits reinforced with his cursed energy. Even when Choso managed to surprise his creator, he failed to land an attack because Kenjaku possessed another cursed technique. Kenjaku wanted to win without revealing this technique, but his arsenal of sorcery abilities are what ultimately pushed him to victory. Yuki proved a far greater challenge than Choso, capable of overcoming any cursed spirit Kenjaku threw at her. He was forced to use everything in his arsenal to defeat Yuki, displaying his most advanced feats of jujutsu to date. As a master of barriers, Kenjaku possesses the divine skill to expand his domain without enclosing the outer shell. Only he and Sukuna are capable of doing so. Not even Satoru Gojo can expand his domain without closing the barrier. The strength of Kenjaku's barrier ripped Yuki's simple domain to shreds, and his domain's can't-miss attack dealt massive damage. Even with his domain dispelled and his cursed techniques burnt out, Kenjaku held his own against Yuki and Choso at the same time. When backed into a corner, he used clever, unpredictable, spur-of-the-moment actions to survive. That is removing the top half of his head off to deflect Choso's piercing blood. Unlikely to brute force his way past Yuki, Kenjaku won by outsmarting her. He let her believe victory was at hand, so she'd be caught off guard by the clever ways he used his techniques. Kenjaku even survived Yuki's last-ditch effort, a black hole, by yet again using a complex blend of jujutsu mechanics. Kenjaku's victory over Yuki and Choso made their allies, other powerful sorcerers, recognize that he could not be defeated with conventional means. While Kenjaku openly recognizes that he is no match for Satoru Gojo, he confidently takes on any other opponent in his path. With Suguru Geto's body, he wields an army of cursed spirits capable of single-handedly conquering a nation. Master hand-to-hand combatant, Kenjaku possesses masterful skills in close combat that can stand up to nearly any opponent. Like Suguru Geto, Kenjaku is a highly capable close-range combatant despite being a curse manipulator. He mainly uses taijutsu to supplement his sorcery, but Kenjaku is fully capable of relying on hand-to-hand combat if need be. Kenjaku effortlessly caught Kasumi Miwa's katana while unarmed and snapped the blade with a simple clench of his fist. Moments later, he held off Choso's assault in Shibuya with contemptible ease. Kenjaku casually parried every strike Choso threw at him while easily landing his own hits. Yuki Tsukumo, who specializes in close combat, proved more of a challenge. However, Kenjaku held off both Yuki and Choso at the same time on his own. Kenjaku's curse techniques were burnt out, and he was forced to rely solely on taijutsu to survive. While he couldn't get off any attacks due to the sheer volume of offense coming at him, Kenjaku effectively defended himself until his techniques were replenished, while only suffering moderate damage. Immense tactical intellect. As previously stated, Kenjaku is a 1,000-year-old individual with a vast amount of knowledge acquired over hundreds of years of existence. This includes general expertise, a comprehensive understanding of sorcery, and strategic intellect. He is extraordinarily clever and a masterfully calculating criminal mastermind. This is due to his wealth of knowledge on jujutsu sorcery and his talent for manipulation and tactical forecasting. Kenjaku's intellect, along with his focus and patience, are what makes him most cunning. He was willing to wait hundreds of years to create the proper conditions to accomplish his goals. His careful consideration and planning are what allowed Kenjaku's schemes to overcome the Six Eyes after losing to it multiple times in the past. Kenjaku analyzed Satoru Gojo to come up with a proper strategy to get the nigh unbeatable sorcerer out of his way. He saw that Satoru was strongest fighting alone, and as a countermeasure, Kenjaku orchestrated the Shibuya incident to put him in unfavorable conditions. While Satoru was stifled by non-sorcerers and forced to combat several special-grade cursed spirits at the same time, Kenjaku waited for just the right moment to seal him. Kenjaku also had the foresight to make sure nobody from Jujutsu High saw him as Suguru Geto, as this would have ruined the surprise that was key to distracting and sealing Satoru Gojo. With his primary obstacle removed, Kenjaku immediately moved on to his next well-thought-out and extremely convoluted scheme. The culling game was created as a means for Kenjaku to achieve his primary goal of merging the Japanese population with Tengen. He launched the culling game directly after the Shibuya incident, having fully prepared for it beforehand. Over the course of numerous generations, Kenjaku recruited sorcerers from different time periods to participate. He is the only sorcerer who knows how to transform someone into a cursed object after death, a major testament to his unmatched knowledge of jujutsu sorcery. Kenjaku even accounted for the return of Satoru Gojo and avoided a surely fatal encounter with him by forging an alliance with Sukuna. Kenjaku's aforementioned mastery of sorcery is appropriately applied to battle. He is a cerebral fighter who can accurately analyze his opponent's abilities and use his own to overcome them in clever and complex ways. Yuki Tsukumo is one of the few sorcerers that Kenjaku encountered whom he didn't have any prior information. He was well aware of Choso's weaknesses and took advantage of them to easily overpower the death painting womb. But this didn't apply to Yuki. Kenjaku analyzed Yuki throughout their battle and had to take numerous risks in order to overcome her. He began their battle by trying to keep her at a distance to observe her skills, a solid strategy that ended up backfiring. Even though he lost the exchange, Kenjaku recognized that his opponent still found his abilities troublesome. Immediately after seeing Yuki's hesitation to open a domain, Kenjaku expanded his own domain and ended up dealing massive damage. Kenjaku displayed a talent for thinking on his feet when Choso joined Yuki's side and ambushed him. Although Choso's ambush surprised Kenjaku, he quickly adapted and avoided a fatal blow. Kenjaku ultimately defeated Yuki with deception, a sorcerer's greatest weapon. He had her believe that he was using cursed spirit manipulation to buy time for a gravity attack. This lured Yuki into range, where Kenjaku surprised her with a miniature maximum Uzumaki and dealt the finishing blow. Cursed energy manipulation. Immense cursed energy. Kenjaku has massive amounts of cursed energy. This is evident by his effective use of cursed spirit manipulation, a cursed technique that can only be used to its full potential with vast amounts of cursed energy. He is confident that he can take on the cursed spirits in his group. He absorbed Mahito without needing to impose any conditions on himself, proving his massive amounts of cursed energy. Innate techniques. Kenjaku's innate technique allows him to swap bodies with another person, even if they are dead, by transplanting his brain into the body of his target. After the transplant, this technique leaves a stitched scar running horizontally through the forehead. Kenjaku can remove the top part of their head to reveal his original brain. Once inside a body, Kenjaku gains access to the host's cursed energy, all their innate techniques and memories. Even the Six Eyes cannot recognize him as an imposter, as he retains the host's cursed energy. Kenjaku can live more than 1,000 years thanks to his cursed technique while inhabiting different bodies. As shown with his usage of Kaori Itadori's technique fighting Choso and Yuki, it's been hinted that even when switching to a new body, Kenjaku retains access and usage of his former host's innate cursed techniques. Even if Kenjaku could collect different cursed techniques from his previous hosts, there's a limit to how much his brain can store before overloading. 400 years ago, Kenjaku transplanted his brain with his innate technique into an unknown person's body. He used this vessel to make binding vows with past sorcerers, particularly with Hajime Kashimo. Noritoshi Kamo. At some point in the past, Kenjaku transplanted his brain with his innate technique into Noritoshi's body. As Noritoshi Kamo, Kenjaku experimented with the fusion of human flesh and curses, resulting in the death paintings. Kaori Itadori. At some point in the past, Kenjaku transplanted his brain with his innate technique into the body of Jin Itadori's partner, Kaori. Posing as her, Kenjaku used her body to mate and give birth to her son, Yuji, for an unknown purpose. It remains unclear how long he inhabited her body. Suguru Geto. After Suguru Geto's defeat at the hands of Yuta Okotsu, Kenjaku transplanted his brain with his innate technique into Suguru's body and has taken Geto as his host body, effectively giving Kenjaku access to all of Geto's memories, skills, and jujutsu. This is where he could now apparently access all of Geto's techniques. Cursed Spirit Manipulation, Jurei Sojutsu. A technique where the user can summon and control naturally formed cursed spirits for a desired purpose. Due to gaining Geto's body, Kenjaku can utilize this technique as if it is his own innate technique. Thanks to this technique, Kenjaku was shown to have acquired numerous cursed spirits as his personal familiars. He has deployed them to fight off multiple opponents and bombard them with a variety of different curse techniques that each curse possesses. One of the cursed spirits he acquired was the smallpox deity, which was a powerful special grade cursed spirit capable of casting its own domain expansion. As shown during its battle against Mei Mei, it was powerful enough to nearly corner her, if not for her brother's assistance to distract it and give her a chance to finish it off. Later, he absorbs Mahito after he is weakened by Yuji Itadori. Maximum Uzumaki. Goku no Ban Uzumaki. The maximum technique of curse spirit manipulation combines a massive number of collected curses into one powerful attack. Uzumaki extracts a curse's innate technique when used with cursed spirits of semi-grade 1 or higher, allowing the user to keep the techniques for one-time uses. Kenjaku first used this technique against Kasumi Miwa using Mahito, allowing him to extract Idle Transfiguration, Anti-Gravity System, Anchi-Gurabiti Shisutemu, a cursed technique that negates gravity when used. Kenjaku primarily uses a cursed technique reversal of this ability, allowing him to intensify the gravitational pull around him. This technique originally belonged to Kaori Itadori. Reverse Curse Technique, Hanten Jutsushiki. Kenjaku uses the reverse curse technique to heal Suguru Geto's body after transplanted his brain into the body. He is also able to use positive energy to fuel a curse technique reversal. Womb Perfusion, Taizo Henya. Kenjaku's domain expansion takes the form of a giant pillar made up of cursed spirits. It is an open barrier-type domain, similar to Malevolent Shrine. The effect of this domain, though its guaranteed hit severely injured Yuki Tsukumo, a special grade jujutsu sorcerer. Idle Transfiguration, Mui Tempen. After expelling Mahito via the maximum Uzumaki technique, Kenjaku gained his innate technique for a one-time use. Idle Transfiguration granted Kenjaku the ability to reshape other people's souls and potentially himself. He used it on Tengen's barrier to kickstart the culling game by remotely altering the souls of the people he marked over the years. Cursed Object Prison Realm, Gokumonkyo, is a special grade cursed object containing a barrier capable of sealing absolutely anything or anyone inside of an inescapable pocket dimension. It was the crux of his plan to seal Satoru Gojo in Shibuya. The plan took place on October 31st, and sealing was completed according to Kenjaku's plan. Kenjaku is the bearer of the front gate of the prison realm. As the bearer, only he has the authority to open the back gate of the prison realm, which was in the hands of Tengen. However, it is possible to unseal the target from the realm by breaking it open with a curse technique that can cancel or nullify other curse techniques. That's all. Thanks for watching till the end, and make sure to hit that like button and subscribe.